We've got the Gozney dome, natural gas versus propane. You may be thinking that there is no difference between the two. I made that same assumption when I bought my natural gas model. Granted, they're the same size, same weight, they both can bake, they can both cook with wood. Everything about them is almost identical, except one major thing. They're burners. The burners are very different in these two different ovens. And today we're going to dive into those differences to help you decide which one of these ovens is right for you. Before we dive into those numbers though, I just want to give you a quick recap on my natural gas pizza oven. I ordered one about a year ago and I had problems with the heat up times. It wasn't heating up as quick as they said it would. And so I actually got onto the support line and we were on the phone and talking, and I had someone come and actually test my natural gas line, which is supposed to be 11 water column, and mine tested at exactly 11 water column. So I'm getting enough natural gas to the oven. So they sent me a brand new one, swapped it out, and still had the same issue. So this oven is my own. This one Gozney has loaned to me to do some of these tests and reviews so that way I can get the numbers on the propane. So I'm not being paid to do this video by Gozney. I thought it'd be fun to do a compare between them. So let's take a look at the graph as usual. The blue is the propane. And it's pretty squiggly because that one was done outside before I was able to bring it into the garage. So it looks a little weird, but still it heats up way quicker than the natural gas. The natural gas, I let that thing run for like 2.5, 3 hours. And it took 1 hour and 43 minutes to get up to 850. So 1 hour and 43 minutes just to get to the temp where I can cook. You can see how frustrated I was with my natural gas oven. With the propane, it gets to 850 in 40 minutes, 968. It never reached 1,000, but it was like a couple degrees off. So it got really close. Between the two right now, propane heats up way quicker. But let's take a look at some ways you can actually get those numbers quicker. I've got the new to you baffle door. I have the dome one right here. It just goes on front. I've used it on both of these. And I got a graph here to show the difference the door makes. So the yellow colors are propane, the green colors are natural gas. So you can see just straight up natural gas is by far the slowest. But with the door on the natural gas, it's heating up as quick as the propane model. Okay, so if you've already got yourself a natural gas one, the door, boom, you're right up to where the propane dome is. And then with the propane dome, with the door, you're heating up even quicker. So I'll go ahead and put all the numbers on minutes, how long it takes to get to temperatures, and you can go ahead and pause it and look through all those numbers because there's a lot there. Needless to say, the door makes a huge difference on heating these things up. When I cook on my natural gas, I'm cooking with the door every time. I don't want to wait 1 hour and 40 minutes, so I pop this thing on and it's ready way quicker. These doors were built really well, and new to you, they're actually sending me a new product they just came out with that solves a problem I've had. So when I'm using my door to heat up, this thing's hot, like 800 degrees, and rarely do I have somewhere to set it down. I don't want to set it on the table and burn it, or set it on the shelf and burn it. So when I'm outside cooking, I always set it on the ground, which isn't safe because I could step on it and burn myself. Or if I'm inside cooking, I'll walk over to the stove and put it on top of the stove. It just gets annoying going back and forth. So they've designed a door holder made of stainless steel. You can set on top of your table or your shelf and set your door on and not have to worry. And you can keep it right by your oven and make it way easier. I highly recommend the door after seeing the numbers we saw here. And I'm super stoked to get my own door holder to be able to just set it down and not have to worry. I highly recommend both of those. Next test I want to go over with you is the recovery test. That's a test where we get the pizza oven up to 850 degrees, let it sit for about 45 minutes to get the stone nice and saturated. We'll cook a pizza on full blast for 1.5 minutes, and then take it out, and then time how long it takes for that stone to get back up to 850. So with the natural gas dome, it took about 10 minutes to get back up to temp after cooking. A lot of that is just the heat that stayed in there. In a previous video that I did almost a year ago, I said it took 34 minutes to heat up. But in that video, I just let the oven get up to 850 and I didn't let the stone saturate. So if you're letting the stone saturate, it is quicker, so it's about 10 minutes. And that's right back up to 850. On the propane model, we're back up in 1 and 10 minutes. So the propane one heats up way quicker. But again, with the door, on natural gas, we were there in about 1.5 minutes and then 35 seconds with the propane. So I do a lot of pizza events at my house and in our neighborhood, and I have the doors for the XL, the Arc XL, for the Rock Box. I use them at those a lot, and I'm super stoked about the door holder for those because that difference of 1 minute makes it so you can just do pizzas nonstop. And when we have people here, everyone wants to make their own pizza and they're all lined up, and having to wait 1.5 minutes or more kind of sucks. So if you can get a door and heat it up in between, you could just be sitting there cranking out pizzas left and right. So huge savings on the doors, but it's still a big difference between the two. So far, the propane dome seems like it's coming out on top across the board, right? But there are a few other things to consider about the natural gas oven. 2 main things. First, you don't have to fill up propane tanks. Hook it up to your house if you have a natural gas line. Hook it up to your house, no filling up propane tanks. That for me is a huge win. I hate filling up propane tanks. With all the testing I do and everything, I'm filling them up like every week. So anything that can come in natural gas for me is a huge save. 2 is that if you install it properly and follow Gozney's guideline, you can install it inside. So I cook year-round pizzas, and so the oven I use the most out of any of my pizza ovens is the natural gas dome because it's in my kitchen, it can be 10 degrees outside, and I'm still cooking pizzas inside. A drawback there though is you can't really cook with wood inside, at least according to Gozney's instructions, so I always just stick to natural gas. So that is one little drawback. But again, this is the one I use the most. Even with the extended heat up times and stuff, the convenience for me is what matters most. And everyone's different. Some people may want the heat up time more than the convenience. Some people could care less if they have to go fill up a propane tank because you're cooking once a month. Let me know if you guys have any more questions about the natural gas versus the propane dome. And hopefully all this data has helped you to be able to decide which oven is right for you.